Hi guys, welcome back to another fragrance video on my channel and thanks so much for tuning in again. Now in today's video I want to talk to you guys about 5 fragrances that I would own if I were only allowed to have 5 fragrances. So this is a format that I've seen a couple of times on YouTube already and I've never really felt quite like I wanted to do it. But recently I really gave this some thought and I was thinking, well, if I was only allowed to have 5 fragrances, what would these be, since I've been reducing my collection a lot. So that's the topic that I'm going to talk to you about today, and I've personally chosen 5 different categories. So I have not committed myself to 5 different fragrances, but rather I thought about 5 different categories that I would own if I were only allowed to have 5 fragrances. So one fragrance of each category would be my poison of choice, so to speak. So first of all, my first category is the good designer fragrance. So I wanted to have one decent designer fragrance in my collection, and that would be, for example, Bleu de Chanel, Le Parfum, or Chanel Allure Homme Sport, or maybe even Terre d'Hermès, and you know, these really good designer fragrances that I've been talking about on this channel also. So yeah, I think you really need one of those because there is many situations where you don't really know what you should wear, and these are perfect for this kind of situation. So if you have one good designer fragrance, I think you are secure in about 95% of situations that can occur where you need a fragrance, and that's why I chose this category to be my first one. The next one is a dark seductive scent, so that's what I called it, and in my opinion it's perfect for niche fragrances. So if you know, like Carlisle by Parfums de Mali, if you know Naxos by Serjoff, or if you know, for example, Tierra by Père Noir. This is the kind of category where you don't really know what's really inside these fragrances, or maybe even also Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, that would also be a perfect one. But they are super dark, they are super seductive, and they have some kind of mysterious note to them. And I think that these fragrances are really awesome for autumn and winter time. So that's why I chose this category. And I personally could have also chosen a gourmand fragrance, but I'm not really a huge fan of gourmand fragrances since they turn really sweet on my skin, and that's why I didn't choose this one, although they are perfect for the super cold temperatures. I mean, yeah, an autumn fragrance like Carlisle can be like way better than gourmand on my skin, so I chose the dark seductive ones instead. Then the third category would be a high-end oud fragrance, so this would be like really something like Amber Oud Absolu Précieux by Roja Parfums, would be something like EO No. 3 by Ensa Oud, or maybe even Portrait of a Lady or The Night by Frédéric Malle. And I think you can really spend a lot of money on this because, let's be honest, if you're only allowed to have 5 fragrances, one can be super expensive, and that's why I chose this one. And I'm personally a super big fan of oud, so I would choose a high-end oud scent as my third category. Fourth category would then be the cologne type category. So for example, something like Gritti, Arancia Ambrata, Pomelo Sorrento, or maybe even Neroli Extreme, something like On the Beach by Louis Vuitton or Afternoon Swim. Just a very, very fresh fragrance for the highest heat in summer, which is something that I learned this year, that it's super important to have something like this, or it's super nice to have a super refreshing scent in your collection. So that would be my fourth category. And the final category that I chose for my 5 fragrances for life is the Carbonell DNA. So this would be something like Erba Pura or Accento, or maybe even Anfas by Salam by Anfas, sorry. Just a DNA like this typical Carbonell DNA by Christian Carbonell, which is a really wide-known perfumer. And the way that he does the fragrances is he has always this kind of powdery note, some kind of sweetness, and it's just a really, really seductive and awesome fragrance. A super good daily driver fragrance, so that's why I chose a fragrance of this category to be like inside my 5 fragrances for life. And this category is just awesome and important because you really need a high-class daily driver, in my opinion, and that would be a fragrance like Erba Pura, for example. So these are my 5 fragrances for life. I'm super excited what you guys say about this and what fragrances you would choose if you only were allowed to have 5 fragrances. Please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm super excited to read about all your recommendations, and please leave a thumbs up if you like this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching and bye bye.